autosave feature. Please do not turn off your PC whilst the icon is displayed at the top of the screen.
You know what? At one time, you should turn your PC off while that icon's at the top of the screen just to see what happens.
Definitely not.
Not while we're doing anything important, but just like
that would shut off the stream too.
Okay, that's a fair point, but like maybe just force quit the game then. It's the equivalent. It's the equivalent.
Twisted Karma and his last battle investigation part 1.
Although, I mean, it wouldn't really be that interesting because one of two things would happen. Either it would have finished saving, in which case you could continue from the save, or it won't have done, in which case you'll have to continue from the last save.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said.
27.
Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder. An executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night.
Oh, see, we're still doing that. We're still doing the professor.
And a commonplace killing.
Nice.
Small, forgotten room.
You know, these games were originally supposed to be a 10 case long game.
Always another side to every case.
I did not. That's too long.
Then they split it into 2.
And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not
Turn off PC during autosave, coward.
The game is afoot.
Leon, someone's telling me to do that. They're being mean. Ban them.
Okay. It does not let me ban myself.
8 days after that earth-shattering trial and Cosmo regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. Is that a real place?
I don't think so. Like, there could be a hotel in Waterloo, but I don't know if it would just be called the Waterloo Hotel, like the Great Waterloo Hotel.
Oh, I forgot. I want to change Sholmes back.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what we're doing. We're changing Sholmes for this case, and then everyone for the next case.
Yeah. Because Sholmes' outfit is kind of stinky.
It is.
I kind of want to change Susato back too, but I don't know.
According to TripAdvisor, there is a Waterloo Hotel. It is also in Wales, so...
Maybe in the one at Wales.
Maybe. They're probably not.
No. Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment. Oh! Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. Susato-san hasn't been the same since what happened, not that I'm surprised. Truth about Cosmo-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew? It was actually the mass murderer of the professor, you mean?
He must have known.
I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say Professor Mikotoba knew about Cosmo going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. It probably means he knows then about Cosmo showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Sholmes?
Would it be Sholmes or would it be, Mikotoba?
I don't know. Ah, there she is.
Ah,
yeah,
there she is.
Yeah, that's Jigoku and Mikotoba.
There you go. I was right. I'm a
God,
genius.
Jigoku looks so weird without in different clothes than his judge clothes.
They both look very weird.
I mean, I'm used to seeing Mikotoba like that. I've seen this design. He's on the front. Mikotoba dressed like this is on the front cover of the game.
Huh, I did not know that.
Yeah. But Jigoku, man. Only that's the second judge in a series to have a name. And the first judge in the series with a name to be localized. Oh, father.
I forget who was doing Mikotoba's voice.
I don't know. I want to do
I'll do
Mikotoba,
it.
but I can't figure. I don't know what voice to do. You want to do it? You can start it, and then I'll imitate it. How about that?
Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know what fucking voice to do.
I know, right? We're too early for this. Oh my god.
Okay.
We needed like a buffer. We need to like get warmed up before we can start assigning voices to people.
Dude.
Oh,
Hello, Susato!
that's not Mikotoba at all.
You?
That's not Mikotoba at all.
I know. I deliberately did like the most opposite. So now, see what I just did? Just do the opposite of that, and then you got it.
Hello, Susato.
There you go.
How are you? That's too far.
Yeah.
I'm very well, thank you. We are delighted you've arrived safe and sound.
Maybe we should just read them normally.
Maybe for now. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We don't even recognize him.
Oh dear. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the sea.
You should give Jigoku the same voice as the English judge.
Sure, why not? We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas.
It has?
I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? Why do I feel as though I've seen him before?
I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me.
In that case, how about a little reminder, Seishiro? A firm tap should do it.
There we go, we're getting there. Yes.
Firm tap? What?
Here we go then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, guilty!
How did he make that noise?
The power of being a judge.
He slammed it on the bottom of the text box.
Oh, smart.
Oh! You're... Hey, we weren't wearing that back then. We weren't able to wear that back then.
The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. No, actually, no, this is you remembering, so you got to do it. Oh, it's just that one line. Say the line.
No, I'm not ready.
That's fair. Okay, let's just carry on.
Your Excellency. Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time.
Good. You've remembered now. That really did the trick. Guilty. My phone's going off. I'm going to put it on silent.
Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time.
So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back.
Well, how did I... I've already forgotten how I said Mikoto.
It was kind of like your Von Karma voice, but a little less deep.
Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. No, really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro?
What are you talking about, Eugen?
Of course, Judge Jigoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who, 16 years ago, came to London with Cosmo's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your... what?
Ministerial.
Ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you?
Ah, I knew you were jealous! Ha 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 ha!
Sorry, ministerial status. Yes, didn't you know? Seisho here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. This is really bad voice. But I can't think of anything else. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Stop laughing at me!
What's this wee shit? Yeah, I don't have to figure anything out.
No, please!
Anyway, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just getting in character as the judge, because he's laughing.
Definitely, you're laughing at me. I can tell you're laughing at me.
I'm laughing with you.
No, you're laughing at me.
Okay, I'm laughing at you.
Ah!
Oh dear.
I don't know, dude. I should have, like, prepared. I knew.
Honestly, I'll be completely honest, the only reason I'm finding this funny is because the voice is completely fine.
The voice is completely fine, really?
Yeah, it's fine. It's just like all your other voices. It's not, like, amazing, but it's perfectly sufficient, and it's completely fine, and you're, like, acting as if it's terrible.
I'm really self-conscious.
Maybe you shouldn't be a streamer. Oh.
Maybe. Alright, that's it. Last stream. This is over. I'm ending stream.
Okay.
You know, when Quill subscribed last night and said he was his 9-month streak, he said he was about to have a baby.
Huh.
And made me pause. Or no, he didn't say I'm about to have a baby, which would have been like, I would have made me think like, oh my god, he's gonna have a kid, and he didn't tell us. But no, he said I'm giving birth. I think those are his exact words. I'm giving birth.
That works more as a joke than I'm having a baby. It's when the first thing that came to my mind when you said I'm having a baby was like, oh, did he knock his girlfriend up? Okay. But no, he was just making a joke that was completely different to what you said.
See? You've gotten in my head. I've gotten in my head. Known you about it.
No, you.
No, you.
Shall we carry on with the story?
It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Cosmo's place here on the study tour.
That was nice of him. Duty as charged! Ah!
Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. Ah, yes now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes, could you tell us any more about it? So, how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards.
But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. Sorry, I was transfixed by that picture of what at first I thought was the Eiffel Tower, but then I realised it's probably meant to be the Crystal Tower from that whole thing that we were literally just talking about.
Yeah. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives.
I was just really confused why there was a picture of the Eiffel Tower, because we're not in France.
This time, we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. So you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris?
Paris? Yeah, close. Paris. You gotta really roll that R.
Bah.
That's not true.
Bah. And that's it, right? Bah.
Yeah, definitely. Say it like that to a friend. Say it like that to someone from Paris, and they definitely won't be incredibly rude to you.
Bah.
Anyone who's been to Paris knows what I'm talking about.
Venezia?
I've never been to Venezia, no.
Well, Venice.
Isn't that what Venezia is Italian for?
There's also a Venice here in America.
Oh, well, I haven't been to that Venice either.
I don't remember what
Where
state.
is
I don't
it?
remember what state Venice is in.
I don't remember. Yeah. I knew as soon as you said it was over where you are, you wouldn't know where it is. Apparently there's Venice in Florida.
I see. The Italy. They're vaguely boot shaped. They're both right. Yeah, that's where. Yeah,
Definitely.
there you go.
There's probably a Venice in like multiple places. To be fair, America has a lot of places named after. Yeah, there's a place called Venice. There's a neighborhood in Los Angeles.
Oh, come to Venice, California.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll swim through the water roads.
Imagine someone just smashing their hands against a road. Traffic just piling up because there's an idiot in the road trying to swim. And then the police are called and shoot the person to death because a cab.
We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover.
Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow.
It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international something. I skipped the head of that important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father.
It's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default.
Speak for yourself, Eugene. You were close friends with the Professor of Forensic Science at a major hospital.
Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really.
No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back.
Cosima's father, I suppose. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actual Cosima's father, wasn't he?
That's correct. Genshin
Fucking knew it. I fucking knew Genshin Impact was terrible. Killing people.
That's the only reason I tripped up on Ahsoka, because I was immediately read Genshin and was thinking of Genshin Impact. Genshin Ahsoka.
Genshin Impact.
Kazuma Impact.
Genshin? You knew, I presume, Father?
Yes. He was a close friend at the time.
Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard.
Ah, I see, it was the policeman among them.
Oh. I've never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous act.
It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland.
But what about Cosima? Did he know? And apparently Van Zieks just casually revealed the secret to us. With absolutely zero authority to do so, I'm sure.
Yeah, I always assumed that Van Zieks didn't know, and then we were gonna when we found out the identity, we were gonna find it out at the same time he did. But no, he just knew all along, and just at that point decided, okay, I'm gonna tell him now.
But what about Cosima? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father?
No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness.
Oh my gosh. I'm burping.
Oh dear.
However, I suspect he may have had his doubts.
Oh, why?
As you know, I tried to guide Cosmo growing up as if he were my own son. Then one day...
Oh. I keep
And
pressing
one
X
day he
too
came
fast.
to the office at my university and said, "Oh, that's me, isn't it? I've decided I want to travel to Great Britain and study there." I don't know, I can't remember what voice I did for Cosmo.
Me either. I mean, based on his voice was pretty deep based on the animated cutscene.
True. I'll do that, but deeper.
Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
You can do it.
I can't get
believe
it out.
in you.
I hesitate so much every time.
I don't know, but when I looked into his eyes, I didn't...
Why do I keep doing this? I'm in control! I have control of this! How does this keep happening?
That's like the fourth time.
But when I looked into his eyes, I didn't know that there's no way I'd be able to stop him.
Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually.
Oh? What?
Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosmo since turned up here in London working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks. What?
What? That's news to us!
So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then.
I like this music.
As you know, we both thought Cosmo had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die, he's alive, as you knew, didn't you, Father?
In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished.
We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try and ascertain what had happened, but to no avail.
But he's still alive, and here in London, you say? I never dared to even to dream it.
Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now.
Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia.
What? Amnesia?
When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were.
I see.
He only regained his memory 8 days ago.
This is unbelievable.
Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently.
I wonder how Cosmo's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him?
That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Yujin here, Genshin Asogi, and myself. We were the original three.
How old are they? 43.
They're both 43.
Hey, look, their ages are palindromes.
Huh?
34,
Oh, 34
43.
and 43. Okay. That's not... I mean, you mean if you put them together. That's why I was confused.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not what palindrome means, huh?
Yeah. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study.
Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you.
16 years ago, things were tough for their generation.
Talking about their generation. That's a song by The Who. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady.
Yes, grandmother told me.
He went to do research at a great... that went weird. At a great London hospital to study autopsy, particularly unheard of in Japan.
Practically.
Oh, practically unheard of in Japan? That sentence makes more sense.
Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground.
Not more talk of graves.
Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work.
So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons.
Not my cup of tea at all.
Do you remember that Scottish prison governor, Caden? Caden? Caden?
Yeah, I think so.
Caden, his
Caden?
name was. He was a good man.
Yes, but then of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case.
Ah, it's fine. He's probably killed by the professor. We'll never have to say his name again.
When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders.
I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years.
I was a witness at a secret hearing and I tried to speak in his defense, but
But you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you?
well, suffice to say that after that trial we were sent back to Japan. Oh my.
There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly.
I guess you could say that their testimony didn't have much of an impact on Genshin.
Well, if you'll excuse us now.
Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long.
Surely, a fancy London hotel should have a porter to... Oh, okay.
I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. Susato-san's gone off at a run.
I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow.
Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing your entire country. I wish you the best of luck.
Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her, as you obviously have been.
Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me.
Well, I do appreciate you being there for her, after all. I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down.
Sorry? What do you mean?
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born.
Yes, I heard.
The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly, it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too.
Oh. Yes, Susato-san hinted at something like that.
Oh, did his wife die in childbirth?
It was a rather turbulent time at home.
His wife died in childbirth.
Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. Point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man, and it was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain.
I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London.
So, that's what happened in a nutshell. That's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. The world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say.
I completely understand, Professor.
Ah, one other thing, Naruto. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you.
Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you?
Well, the thing is,
Hey! Wasn't this one of the jurors in the first case in London? In McGilded's case?
I'm not sure if it was him specifically. But he does look similar, so maybe.
I'm sorry that took so long. Miss Susato. Now then, allow us to take your bags.
allow me to take your bags.
Oh, right, you were expecting me to do that, because he's British.
Yeah.
I was looking up the jurors in the McGilded
One
case,
moment,
see
if
he
you
was
please,
one of them.
Porter.
No, that's definitely him. He's got the flask.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
They found out that his omnibus was used as a crime scene, so now he's out of business and now.
Yeah, he was juror number 5, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same model, except he has a camera on him instead of a horseshoe.
I bet what happened was his They found out his omnibus was used as a crime scene, and then no one wanted to ride them anymore. Now he's out of business.
Well, not only that, wouldn't he specifically have got in trouble because he was overcharging or something? Wasn't that like one of the plot points?
Well, his employees were overcharging.
No. Because no, that's right. His employees were overcharging. That's right. So then I don't know. I don't know why he would have to become a porter, but he's a porter now apparently.
Maybe his name is Porter.
Maybe they're just different people, and the people who made the game just reused assets.
Yeah, maybe. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. You want to voice the porter?
Sure. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. There we go. I think that's it.
Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense.
Ah, yes, of course.
They got into pose real quick.
They did. Also, geez, Naruhodo. Like, it's a photo. You don't need to look so serious.
I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street, then? I expect Iris... We'll have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Or we could go to Strongheart right now.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
We're probably just gonna go there and he's not gonna be in. And even if we did request an audience with him, he'd be 7 hours late. Hey, it's the 1st of November. What?
I believe.
What was that? A man screaming in a most unflattering way. Do you think
Oh, man,
could have been Mr.
that should have
Sholmes?
been me. Yeah.
Oh my, I do hope not. Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah! I don't do it anymore!
Alright, he's Italian, probably? I don't
I'm
know.
assuming from the don't.
Yeah. Or...
Okay, well, this guy's definitely French.
Yeah.
Mon ami, mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display, huh?
Who are these people? Look at their hair, it's bright red. You never seen a redhead before?
Honestly, in Japan, I have a cousin who has red hair. Not one of my Japanese cousins. He's like half brother to the Japanese cousins I have, and obviously he would go over to Japan to visit, his dad a lot. And every time he would go, people would take photographs and ask to touch his hair and everything because they'd never seen someone with red hair before.
I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes.
Right, you two, you're coming with me now, down to the clink.
What are you doing here, Gina?
Taking him down to the clink.
I guess so.
No, please, it is dark in the damp and I don't like it. Both. The darkness, it is my friend. I'm not scared. Yeah, but you are always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring ice.
I hate these guys.
I don't like it.
I hate these guys so much. Can we just bring they're just the next Tin Pillars. Not the Tin Pillars, what were they called? Skullkins.
Skullkins, yeah.
Just the Skullkins again, but worse!
Well, tough. We'll finish this down the yard. Now get moving. Aren't you glad to know that they'll probably be quite important, which is why we had to meet them?
I don't like it! I don't like it! I don't like it!
Okay, you can do the kid. You
I
can
don't.
do
I
that
no.
thing.
I don't. I really do not want to.
I know. That's why I said that. No, I'll do it. I'm just making a joke.
Bye then, Ginny. Have fun.
Oh yeah, thanks, Iris, and thanks, you great detective.
Oh my god, they're both crying now.
I mean, to be fair, the tall one was actually scared of the dark. He was just pretending not to be. So of course he'd be crying.
Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie and Runo. Hello, Iris. We're home. Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon. Yes,
Still
of course.
haven't told her he's dead.
Dr. John H. Wilson.
So, Iris, all that remains now is that greatest of problems known to man. I'm assuming it's Sholmes.
Okay. Hello!
Okay! I'm glad we don't have any outfits on. Because that might change this, and this is just amazing.
Yeah. Actually, I'm curious. Surely it wouldn't have.
We hope not. Oh, dear.
Oops, not here. Okay, there. It's still red.
Okay, good. That's still... well, okay, make sure you change it back now, because that's just gross. The gross outfit. But okay, that's good to know. I think it's still more impactful in his regular outfit, definitely. Also, I'm just saying, all of those would have been like great opportunities to turn off your PC during an autosave. Because it's right there. But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order. Don't you, my dear fellows? Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face?
Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say. Come along then, everybody. I've brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. Whatever is going on here today.
In that case, let us sit and drink now.
Hey, look, Cosmos Mask is on the thing in the center.
Oh, yeah. Why do we have it? For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today.
Is it Kazuma?
Maybe.
Mr. Sholmes, who were the two gentlemen that were here before?
Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance, except I'm sure they will be of significance.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sure they have to make a living somehow. Oh, of course they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions.
When the mood takes you? All manner of infractions?
But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out.
Oh my! You were the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes?
But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally.
You should have asked Grexy to come too. We could have had a resting tea party.
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Aha! I have it! A bungler. That's the word.
It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads have been up to no good. I wonder what the men did. What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before? Is it Another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes?
How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance?
Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. She just pulled that out from nowhere! I finally saw it in action! According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Wait, what? We were apes?
Indeed. And from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as human, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man.
Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes?
Why is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of, and I cannot read that word, which is a shame, rent!
Yeah. Problem of rent. But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tuspel's only the other day?
For sure, a large sum? One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later. And all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you.
Iris gets weed and you get a car? Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it.
Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least.
Kill the landlord! And what was the answer?
Why, there is a substantial clue before your very eyes.
Is it the mask?
It's gonna be his hair.
Oh, right. No, yeah, duh. I kind of forgot that his hair wasn't that color.
He should have been that colour from the start. It's great. Looks good on him.
Don't tell me. Let me see.
Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses.
I mean, there's gotta be an edit of him with green hair and Joker makeup, right?
Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There is one particular thing you must know. We live in a society. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think.
In the end? It's been stabbing me. It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation.
Thanks for zooming to emphasize that in case we didn't notice.
I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo. Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if the charade goes on much longer. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us...
I will now tell you... blah, 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 blah. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that.
That case aboard the SS Burya in January. Cosmo wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on?
The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew.
But how?
After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
Oh, how horrible.
It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course.
But why? Why do it in the first place?
I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you, I didn't foresee subsequent events.
What events?
His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh.
I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment.
Mr. Sholmes. The mask Cosmo wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zieks as his apprentice. He should have done more as the apprentice, god dang it. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up.
Oh, okay.
We ought to give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself. But isn't he your best friend? Iris, what do you got cooking up today? Blackboard is where Iris scrabbles down her latest ideas, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, she seems to have drawn a lot of... Oh, wait. This isn't new.
Yeah, I think we worked out last time it sort of does a new one each time you check it, but because we had to lose our save data, it thinks we've only checked it like twice now.
Hey, Sholmes, check this out. Mr. Sholmes, about this.
Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, is this the first time you've shown me this particular trinket?
Oh, I don't really remember, to be honest.
Is my saying that it's a collar for a breed of miniature canine with a particularly long neck were to precipitate a "here we go again" from your lips, we could be sure it was not the first time. Deduction, you see, my dear fellow. Deduction.
Okay. Do we actually go to Strongheart now?
Maybe.
Oh, hello, Van Zieks.
Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you've asked for from the yard.
I see. Excellent work. Thank you.
You're welcome, my lord.
What's Lord Van Zieks doing here? My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. Oh! Too late for that.
My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress made you all but invisible to me.
Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here.
Now then, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, my lord, I'm right here. Kill me now.
Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature.
If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise.
Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly.
As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zieks.
And we'll attend at once.
Gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything, have I?
These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just,
Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Sykes' own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further.
That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me.
Lord Van Zieks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday.
Oh, missing? What's become of Kazuma-sama now?
Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million.
30 million? Are there even that many people in the world?
Yes.
As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital Tokyo is 2 million.
I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making, 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries.
Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations.
The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques. And cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here, at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World.
He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department.
Forensic. And
Definitely.
can you not do that now?
Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million... blah, 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 blah. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say.
Unintended repercussions of our trial. I simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though.
Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way.
About Lord Van Ziek's apprentice.
Ah, yes. That came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends.
How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Ziek's in the first place?
It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel.
Oh my. So he stowed away to get here.
He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact that he was clearly of Eastern descent, Blah. Come on, say words. You can do this. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeeks. That way I could keep an eye on him.
But then, why the mask?
I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeeks with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice.
Because it would be so much.
Racist.
Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask.
He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zeeks. I have high hopes for his future. I love it. Lord Van Zeeks is so racist. They had to put a mask on his apprentice so he didn't know he was Asian.
By the way, do you know where he's gone?
No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Oh.
I take it you also didn't know. The man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean.
Genshin Asogi. We learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was...
Ah, yes. Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
They were such awful murders and unprecedented. Using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon?
No one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited here to study by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand.
Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause.
What? Supporters of a mass murderer? He killed the rich? Is that really so surprising?
Yeah. The majority... Oh, okay, so it's rich who like that he was killing the rich. Because the rich have... Oh, okay. The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed, anyway.
Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? My god, I can't stop my legs from... I can't stop fidgeting with my legs. Keep bouncing them, it's starting to make my legs sore.
Oh dear.
How do I stop doing that? Every time I like stop focusing on keeping my legs still, it just starts bouncing again.
I'm not sure you necessarily can. I think that's just the thing that some people do.
It seems very similar, doesn't it? The idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. Hey, Strongheart! You seen my armband before? Oh, it's just a generic response.
Yeah.
We've asked everything we need to. There's nothing more to ask.
Maybe we go back to the hotel?
Oh, wait. I thought maybe there would be like a can of hair dye. Like, just get the next clue, the other clue we needed.
Oh, I see.
Susato said we needed another clue. Just to play along with Sholmes. What is this? I don't think I've ever actually... The Great Analytoscope! Finally managed to remember this great behemoth's name. I don't think it was here when I left for Japan, was it? Oh, is that right? Yes, because it was with the pawnbroker. Ah, of course. Oh, that's giving me a wonderful idea. I could pawn everything that's on your desk. The office would be tidy at last. You even joke about it, Mrs. Zato. You are joking, aren't you? Okay, well, I missed the examine text where we found out what that was for. What a shame.
Huh? What? Huh? What?
I missed the examine text where we found out what the Great Analytoscope was for, and where we found out why it was called the Great Analytoscope.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, I think maybe we go back to the hotel. Like,
I think so.
I don't see anything else we can do with Sholmes.
There's nobody here.
Oh. Was there anything to examine?
We can examine this guy. That desk is known as the hotel reception. Anyone waiting to spend the night has to report there to sign in for their stay. I like how the bag is sort of vaguely positioned where she puts the book away.
Yeah.
Good thinking. Oh, except the bag is also placed where it's clipping through her arm. I just realized.
Yeah.
Oh, so do you think that's the head clerk behind the desk there? Yes, I'm sure it must be. I'd love to stay in a grand hotel like this for a little while, wouldn't you? Just to know what it's like. The hotel fee was paid through our stipend. I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland. True. London gives the word expensive a whole new meaning. How are Jigoku and Mikotoba staying here then?
Well, to be fair, they're staying here for a few days. We've been staying for...
Oh, also, it probably wasn't Japan paying for it. It was probably Lord Strongheart paying for it.
Yeah, probably. Also, even if it was Japan paying for it, like, you're two random, like, kids. The judge there is a fucking foreign minister. They tend to pay a lot more for government official.
Hey, we've uncovered several government secrets. We're as good as any foreign minister.
So what you're saying is you should be compensated for being spies.
Yeah, what to do? Tell me what to do!
Government.
It's good news that Professor Mikotoba arrived safely, isn't it? Yes, it's wonderful, and the fact that Father has been invited to this important international event really makes me very proud to be his daughter. Your father, Judge Joku... Why did I trip on that? I think I said it right the first time.
I think you did.
Judge Jigoku, us, and Kazuma, of course. There's an ever-increasing number of Japanese here in Britain's capital, isn't there? They're gonna take all our jobs. Well, yes, I suppose so. But London does have a population of 6 million people, so I think we're still a minority. Zato-san's father, who came here as a visiting student 10 years ago, and Kazuma. It's almost as if some great power has been at work, drawing them here across the ocean to London. I feel as though the waters are starting to swell again now.
Maybe we do need to find something else about Holmes's hair.
We can't examine Sholmes himself.
I don't know what we're missing.
There's nothing, like, new here. Although, to be fair, I didn't notice that. I wasn't entirely sure if this gigantic thing was new. So perhaps not seeing anything new doesn't really matter.
What about those test tubes? Can we examine them?
No.
No. Okay, what about the violin?
This is Mr.
Or
Sholmes'
viola,
favorite violin.
whatever it
The
is.
one that he found
No,
being
it's
sold at the
violin.
first song at a pawnbrokery. What was it called? Shodi something? Oh, yes.
Shot it.
This wonderful instrument features in the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, the world-famous Stradivarius. What? Stradivarius, Mr. Naruhodo. Stradivor. Are you even trying now? We'll come back to this another time, I think.
You know, if they had just waited 2 more years to localize this, Sherlock Holmes would have been out of copyright, and they could have just called him Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, but like, they shouldn't have. They shouldn't.
No,
They
should have localized it a lot sooner.
Yeah, this game is sick. This game is 4 years old.
That's not actually that old.
Huh?
Well, if you say it's 4 years old, like that's really, really old. Like, obviously nowadays things get localized straight away, and that was the case when it came out. But honestly, that's not that long a wait for localization compared to games traditionally.
I mean, yeah, kind of. But, I mean, Great Ace Attorney 1 is 6 years old?
That's a bit. Yeah, that's getting there. That's twice as long as I'd expect. Well, not now, but twice as long as I'd expect a long time ago. Like,
Yeah,
even,
no, it's just, it's
I
really
don't
long.
know what point I'm making.
Yeah, no, you're just wrong. I do like this fireplace, though. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived at the country, in fact. Although I do yearn for a Japanese kotatsu. Putting your legs under a warm, blanketed table is so comforting. Do be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't mistakenly put your feet into this fire, will you? You suffer terrible burns, you know. I worry sometimes about how Suzata-san sees me.
Or what about the newspaper? Might have relevant news.
Oh, maybe, actually. That's probably it, actually, yeah. No, that's it.
I'm a genius.
This looks like last week's edition. What's that article circled in red ink there? In the advertisement column, it says... There's a Red-Headed League. Red-Headed
there you
League?
go.
What's that? I don't know, I've never heard of it before, but...
Is something on my face?
Clearly this has something to do with Aunt Lively Hair.
Oh, God.
Okay. Four, not dollars, if you are a redhead.
Let me look up what that is in today's money.
What is that? What symbol is that?
Oh, did you forget what our currency is called?
Is it pounds?
It is pounds, correct.
That's 4 pounds.
Well done.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Well, it's fine. Fine. This is set in the year 1900, right?
Yeah.
So £4 in 1900 would be £502.
How much is that
78
in dollars?
And I'll get you that in dollars, yeah. So $678.65 per week just for being redheaded.
$678 a week for being redheaded?
Yeah.
God damn! Hey, I can join.
Are you redheaded?
Look at me in Avatar
I mean,
can
yeah,
join.
but there's a lot of non-red there as well. I don't know if that's red enough.
Public health report. Despite the condition of the city of London itself of late, it has been a positive year so far in public health. There have been fewer cases of consumption reported when compared to this time last year, and smallpox is at an all-time low thanks to the vaccinations offered to smallpox. See, vaccinations! Ooh, political! It's getting political. How dare they put politics in this game about exposing government secrets?
Also, it's talking about the rejection of miasma and the formation of germ theory. That's pretty cool.
Where?
St. Bartholomew's Hospital, the latest research and findings.
There's an emerging consensus among doctors and scientists of all nations whereby the theory of miasma is being soundly rejected. This experiment after experiment has yielded conclusive evidence in support of what physician John Snow thought he knew nothing.
That's a real person, by the way. Although, that was a while. He died in 1858.
It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes.
To the Red-Headed League. Does that strike you in some way?
I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair.
So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation.
Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut.
So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits.
Regale or boast?
Oh god.
So what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled?
You noticed it in the paper then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment.
It was? How?
According to the advertisement, The Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair.
That doesn't entirely surprise me.
But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. Unconditional salary of £4 a week.
Oh my, £4 a week? But why? What are they paying people for?
That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement.
But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. Pink is close enough, right?
Sure.
You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once.
So will I, just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think.
Trouble is, we have a fixed number of members, you see.
Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people join, no one else can.
But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away.
It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes. So you decided to try and join in this place?
Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow?
No.
So why? Why did it have to go so wrong?
What? What on earth happened?
A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it.
What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm glad you asked, Miss Susato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece.
He edited his own jeans!
I changed the color of my hair overnight. By the wonders of chemistry.
Chemistry?
I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that one taken turns one hair a flame-like red.
No, you didn't!
Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. So the carpets match the drapes!
I think I'll pass. But, Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it?
Amateurs are always something, hampered by such fears.
Oh, I never should have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say...
But of course! To earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger.
That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely.
So anyway, Hurley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. We're the park on Lime Street, where the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members.
So what went wrong?
The whole park was choked with red-headed folk, like a Costa's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid, before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away!" After which I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police.
What?!
Oh dear, what a disaster for Hurley and those two redheads.
What the fuck?
So what, did those two not do anything besides just point him out?
I guess. Aha! Here is my guest now. My latest client, with money to spend.
Ooh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley.
Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating, Save locating a runaway, of course.
Drop my controller.
Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you?
Oh dear, I'm afraid the Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due.
Oh. Hello, juror.
Jones! Mr. Herlock Jones! Please, oh please! Yeah, she was one of the jurors. Please find my husband. He's run away!
Oh, sorry, dude.
Whatever. To upset me? I beg your pardon? Never mind, a personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I didn't say a word.
Come, my dear madam, be seated. I rest some tea, if you please.
Of course!
What's the matter, Miss Susato?
Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before, very recently.
Yes, now that you come to mention it.
As I said earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure.
4 pounds a week.
Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam.
Bullshit.
Being offered a case to solve is reward enough.
Bullshit.
Oh, Mr. Jones, you are the picture of benevolence.
Oh, is this what he meant? He won't charge for missing persons cases?
Oh, maybe. I will, of course, make a mental note of your... Oh, okay. Of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words. So instead of getting payment and sorting it out before, he's going to ask her for money afterwards. Okay. If I might inquire, sir, this gentleman and lady would be...
Oh, me?
What I am about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand? Oh yeah, that's me. These are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing.
Why did I ever get my hopes up?
Oh, so you just quiz her.
Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps?
Oh my! For sure, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite this lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion.
I don't think Naruhodo was hitting on her.
I don't think so either. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week?
I think he did more than just attend! I knew I recognized her.
To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh! Oh golly! It sends shivers down my spine!
Spooky.
Ookie! Ookie! Ookie!
I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now.
Oh, okay, I'll act differently now. It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing.
Pardon?
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really, nothing more. I've never heard that word before in my life.
Now look what you started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much.
I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner.
Yes.
Yes, he says, and then immediately... Oh, okay, no, Sholmes is asking the question now. Tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Vigil, my dearly, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least.
Rude?
Little bit, yeah. Daily vigil and evening vigil. Okay.
Baroque van Zieks. That's the next. That's where we're going next, right?
Definitely.
It's gonna be Van Zieks. He killed him.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's the reason he's objecting to the Reaper of the Bailey, because he kills other people and no one knows.
Yeah. How long have you been married? It will have been 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. As it would appear, I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh! Your dress is the latest style, your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me. Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other. Oh, that is exactly what must have happened, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see.
What if this isn't actually what he looks like? What if we're only assuming because it's a black and white picture, but he's actually a redhead?
And he died! Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will? What exactly is your husband's line of work? He's a professional redhead at the prison! He's a warder at the prison!
Hello, Project Wukong. Thank you for the follow.
Hi.
Thank you so much. A guard? That is somewhat unusual.
So, your husband is a prison warder? That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder. Indeed, I see. Hi, Project Wukong. I'm doing good. I'm doing great, actually. I'm having a good day. Hope you're having a good day. Well, a chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation. Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out.
Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments?
And at such times he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility he's remunerated more handsomely than the other warden. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbours. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
Oh, sorry. Did you already reply to...
Yes, I did. That's why I was saying that my day was good to you. I was just randomly saying that.
Not really? I don't know.
You
Sorry.
just zone out a little.
I did, yes.
Fair enough.
Hi, Project Wukong. How are you doing? We're having fun.
Yeah.
Her lot shown as a redhead.
Even though you've only just woken up and apparently haven't quite fully woken up yet.
No.
Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes. Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there is a large cemetery just behind it. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery.
No. Lowgate Cemetery, the very place we were discussing in court. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid you've lost me. Ah, pay no heed, madam, pay no heed. A private matter.
This can't really be a coincidence, can it?
So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance. When did you realize he was missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. I'm sorry, yesterday?
It really is recent, laughably so.
The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him not to return home, not to return home at night. But this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Daly, whatever can have happened? My dear Mrs. Vigil, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home. In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention. God, imagine if he really was just like held up with something, and he came home and his wife was like, "Oh, you're back," and then he finds out, "Oh, you paid Sherlock Holmes 100 quid to find me. You bloody mad woman."
You seek only to put this suite's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. We're ever gonna meet the landlady?
Probably not.
I mean, this is extremely sexist of me to, like, think this way, but, like, the fact that it says landlady and not landlord, right, makes me think that something about it being a landlady is going to be significant in some way. Just, that's how I feel like it would be written.
Maybe, but, like, landlord is a gendered term.
Yeah.
So,
But
like,
I feel like it's quote-unquote the default, like...
Yes and no. I mean, a landlady in this period wouldn't be unusual. It'd be like one of the few legitimate ways for a woman to make money. Like, if her husband has passed, she would own his former property and could rent it out and make money that way. Because it would be weird if she, went out and got a career, but renting property
Yeah,
would be
because
something that
being a
seems
landlord isn't
okay.
a real profession.
Exactly. It's not a real job, so it's okay for women to do it.
Yeah.
I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Did I read the line before that?
Did you?
I don't know. No, I didn't. Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir. Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure. So soon? How splendid, Mr. Sholmes. Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession.
Or our possession?
Thank you. Now allow me to show you the door.
Here it is!
I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous.
I'm not
so
Mr.
Sholmes. Betting
Sholmes.
that her husband has been murdered.
I'm
gonna put it quite high.
You're gonna bet? How much are you gonna bet?
I don't know. 1 shilling.
How much is that?
Oh, I don't know. I have a shilling though. I do have a shilling.
Alright, I'll
An
take that.
actual
I'll take
physical
that bet. I'll take that bet. I'm not gonna take that bet. I don't know how much a shilling is. Not a lot.
I mean,
though.
it's not currency anymore.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
Do you think we still use shillings? Shilling is a pre-decimalization currency. And because it's a coin, it's not like guaranteed by the Bank of England. Notes, even really, really pre-decimal old notes, you can still take them to the Bank of England and get them exchanged. But old coins, you're just sort of stuck with. But yeah, we used to have the British pound used to be divided into, I think, 120 pence, and then a shilling was how many pence is a shilling? Yeah, a shilling was 12 pence. Oh, sorry, no. A pound was a pound is 240 pence. A shilling is 12 pence. So 20 shilling would be a pound. Or you could get a florin, which was worth 2 shillings. Or you could get 2 shillings and 6 pence was a half crown.
What?
Or 5 shillings was 1 crown.
I can see why you guys switched.
Yeah. Not until 1971, though.
What?
I think it was 71. It was definitely sometime in this.
You're telling me the decimalization of your guys' money is younger than my mother?
Yeah. Most people, not my generation, but the generation before, have knowledge of pounds, pence, and shillings. Like, my dad was not like an adult when we used pounds, shillings, and pence, but he was a kid, and he will know about this. Certainly, most people's parents, well, maybe not parents anymore because we've got another generation of them, but most people's grandparents, at the very least, will probably understand pre-decimal currency.
What if I played Binding of Isaac while we were playing Ace Attorney?
That wouldn't be very smart.
Well, I am. Just kidding.
I wouldn't put it past you.
You know, I think it every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. Loophole!
Okay.
Ha ha ha! Loophole! I merely gave the woman some false hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. Loophole! After all, the rent must be paid by the... Oh, okay. That's the real reason.
I gotta be real, Danganronpa has completely destroyed the words hope and despair for me.
Oh my goodness. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Don't look at me with those pleading eyes.
Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case?
Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually.
Excellent! And what did you make of it?
Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked, at Barclay Prison, I mean.
Ah, so you noted that.
Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery.
Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. Amogus!
Amogus! So it was renowned Amogus students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Is that what I sound like when I do that?
That's my imitation of what you sound like, at least.
Oh dear.
Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated. The professor.
And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared. It would seem.
It's all very peculiar.
Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
Run along to the prison and see what you can glean. Would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried.
But aren't you going to go yourself?
Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with this hair.
But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair?
It was a quite different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy.
See, and they can't refuse to do his work for him because they live here too. They depend on him paying rent.
Yeah.
Of course you are. Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Oh my god.
Huh.
Oh, that poor bird!
Oh my god, that is not a good enough cage!
Oh, this man.
This place is full of hardened criminals. I can't even remember the last time a civilian was down here.
Oh, yeah, I know, I got that from the Kane.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you get to do a Scottish voice.
Finally! My one decent accent! And you didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me...
This guy's a...
Do you ken who I am?
Oh, it's
I'm the
Caden!
governor. Caden? Ah. I'm the governor, Barry Caden. Hmm?
Oh, I get it.
Oh, barricading. Yeah.
Okay, so his brother or something was the one that knew the other two and he died, I guess.
Presumably?
Because they said Caden was passed away, right?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer.
And an Easterner, I see. Does that mean...
Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan.
Japan? Did you say Japan?
Yes?
Well, there's no any of your kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh?
I didn't notice another prison next door, sir. He means the graveyard where all of you Japanese deserve to be? Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about...
I didn't like to be so direct, but... I have no intention of speaking with the likes of you, suspicious-looking Easterners. Now get out of me hair.
As soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. This surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Asogi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated in this prison. Then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison.
I might have known. You're sniffing around about that case, aren't ya? Your agency, part of the Professor's Great Wed, no doubt.
No, not at all. We're just...
Get gone with ya, before I punch your lights out.
Yeah, the way this man's built, punching us once would kill the Naruhodo.
Yeah.
We're going! Clearly, the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here, unless we can somehow prove this man there's nothing suspicious about us. Oh, is it time? Do we have to present the attorney's badge?
Maybe.
Governor Caden. What are you thinking, Mr. Zato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help. Oh, I guess not. I guess we have to go talk to, Mikotoba. Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. Well, I mean, let's try it.
Anyway.
Let's try it, yeah.
I'm a lawyer, look!
Governor Caden, could I at least show you this?
It's gonna be, I'm not looking at anything.
How many times can one man turn his back on you in a single conversation? He literally didn't even say anything.
Damn! Okay.
Ah, convenient. You're here in the lobby instead of in your room? That's Professor Mikotoba over there.
Hello, you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up in the world now that I'm unpacked.
Where's Judge Jigoku?
Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
I only just arrived in the country today? Goodness, he is full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before about how you know the prison governor, Barclay Prison.
Oh, Governor Caden, you mean?
So it is the same man. Father, you must speak with the governor. He refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story.
Oh, would you? That would be wonderful if you have time now.
Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment.
Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee? Settee? Settee?
No. I have a rather lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know?
Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I?
I guess he is saying these.
Yumi-Kotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or it could be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts.
Let's not fall out now. I have an idea.
What's he writing on that piece of paper?
Let me get a letter. Yeah.
Here's the letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune.
Ah, thank you. Okay, it's torn. That's gonna be important evidence, the fact that it's torn.
Is it?
Good luck then. I bet. Look at that. What's on the back? Yeah, look!
Okay, maybe.
Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse, first class cabin 001. Yokohama departure 11th September, London arrival 1st November. Oh, that's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think you called it Dunkirk at the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving at Dover. I think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Buria. Seems a shame to not keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Did I imagine it, or was that accompanied by a little sigh? See? It's gotta be important. Jeez.
But I think the fact it's a ticket might be, but the tear just indicates that it was used. That's how tickets work.
Oh, yeah.
Although you can examine the tear.
Oh, wait, was it different?
I think so. I thought there was no tick when you was on the actual tear itself. Yeah, see?
Professor Mikotoba has wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it doth me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy?
Please stop.
What's wrong? I do wish he had at least called you a nice young man. I'm really not sure if that would help.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, no, it was just the back that you were on. But still, a good thing I pointed that out, or you would have missed that.
Yes, important.
Maybe.
If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caden.
What's this thing? You can't pull the wool over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student. Mikotoba? That young jock from the forensic laboratory. That Mikotoba.
Yes, exactly, him! Oh, dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Suzato.
I can't quite make out what they're saying. Jeans! You're the young man's daughter?
How old is this guy? Oh, he's 51.
Huh,
It makes sense, but... I don't know, I expected you to be younger.
And you didn't think to mention that afore?
I do apologize.
Aye, well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And didn't forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits.
Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
So then, what can I do for you, hen?
Well, we're currently investigating a case. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing.
Missing?
That's right, it's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor.
I haven't heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison.
Oh, but how can that be? It's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder.
Eh? Vigil?
That's right, his wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Surely that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir?
Aye, of course.
He's dead, isn't he?
That, or he was, like, fired.
We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison.
Aye, that he was.
Was? Oh no, he is dead.
I think he was fired.
He was a fine
maybe
warder!
He was dead. Okay, maybe he is dead. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warder.
Sorry, did you say was?
Aye, he doesn't work here no more. He left the.
Oh, he quit! How did we not? How is that not a possibility that we thought of? You can't quit. You can't quit. You can only die or be fired.
I mean, I'm claiming a win on that for me. All right.
No.
You come in with your death stuff.
No.
I logically would have gone to he quit after seeing that line, but you were painting the world with your death. I knew that he was alive.
Oh my.
Oh, okay, I guess I won't. He didn't work here no more. He left the job.
When was this exactly?
There's a question. When was it about? It can't have been much less than a year ago. Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Huh.
Jeez.
10 years ago now.
What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago?
Aye. As I mind it. You kidding? I haven't heard the fella's name in all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing, though.
But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps Mr. Naruhodo, his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here?
That's important, is it?
Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, it's got to have to do something with the Professor case.
Yeah.
It was 10 years ago.
I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago. Which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of Chief Warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job?
In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter.
You mean he was dismissed?
I was right! I was right! Get fucked! I was right! Sorry. It was after a particular walk.
Sorry, a walk?
Aye, that's the word for it in here. A walk to the gallows.
An execution.
It's the job of the Chief Warder to... That went wrong. It's the job of the Chief Warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only, Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning.
What did he do?
I'm sorry, but I can't even reveal that information.
He bungled the execution, that's why the professor rose from his grave.
Maybe. But I can tell you that it's very rare for a Chief Warder to be relieved of his post.
But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here.
I wouldn't ken anything about that, I'm afraid.
Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal?
And what would that be, Hen?
That last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's? My thoughts exactly.
I'm sorry, I really am, but I'm no at liberty to answer that.
That's a yes!
I mean, that is a yes, yeah.
It wasn't the professor that he could say.
Exactly!
I see.
Got him.
My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted. I could have sworn they said Caden was dead.
Did they?
I don't know, I thought he said passed on or something.
Nah,
Hey Tyler.
I don't remember that. Hi, Tyler! The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research. Do you ken?
Yes, I can imagine. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable.
Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard. In the basement of St. Sinners. It's still in use today.
St. Sinners. That's come up before, I'm sure. Yes, that's right. We've been there.
Mikotaba and I used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms.
For more fresh material, I suppose.
Aye, and we used to sit in there for hours and gab on about dissection and all sorts. Oh, it takes me back. Over a pot of tea and a plate of cuff biscuits, of course.
How charming.
He was a good fella, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. I'll never understand you Japanese.
Oh, but he said, but I'm afraid.
Oh, but I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese.
Because of Genshin Asogi, I suppose.
Well, I can't tell you anything else.
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one moment before you're away, Hen. I'm sure I have it here somewhere.
He has an axe on his hip.
Oh dear. I found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison.
Does he always have the red handkerchief in his pocket? I feel like that was new, but
No.
it might be stupid.
I don't think it's new, but maybe.
Huh, weird. What is it?
That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years now, of course.
Oh my, are you sure?
Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original mind.
Vigil's dismissal notice has been entered in the court record. Thank you very much, Governor Caden.
Well, in return. Do me a favour and never come back here. That case is closed. I checked with the clip, and yeah, he had that. On
Why
the whole
did
time.
that draw my eye that time?
No idea.
Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with what we found out about Mr. Vigil. What will he tell Mrs. Vigil, I wonder? We're back!
Hello, you two.
Oh, hello,
Oh,
you
no,
two.
okay.
I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all.
Ah, so that's what the delicious
Scone?
smell is. Oh my god.
Oh dear. Greetings, my dear fellow.
We're getting closer!
We will get good old Joker Green. You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. Turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application.
Oh my.
Pray, tell me, what of our warder friend? Have you garnered some new information?
Oh, yes, something very surprising, in fact, though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. It most certainly isn't, but still, we discovered that... Sholmes!
Oh, Sholmes! Drop everything, Sholmes! This is more important!
Gina?
I can't Adam and Eve it! Sniff, sniff.
What's happened?
Clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. It's the boss!
What do you mean, Inspector Gregson?
The boss is... He's dead! Holy shit!
What?
I just found his body! Shot with a pistol!
What? But... Inspector Gregson? He was... murdered?
No, not Grexy.
Holy shit! Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. Sniff, sniff.
Hey Gina, you wanna look at my attorney's badge? Gina, I wanted to show you this. No, what am I thinking? This is hardly the time, is it? Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was... he was really shot?
I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene. Where did this take place? A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street. The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there.
Oh, how strange.
The boss was... he was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but One day I was going to show him. I was going to show him I'd become a proper detective.
Oh, Ginny.
So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is?
They got him already.
Already? Already? Rather? They've caught the shooter so soon.
A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got to straight down there and took care of him.
So what do you think about the culprit?
I don't fucking know. I'm just sad that Gregson's dead.
Who? What awful person did this? Whoever this culprit is going to be our client. You know this, right?
Presumably, yeah. Oh, is it going to be a missing guy? Maybe. Oh, I still can't believe it myself.
Gina?
It was Reaper. Oh. Oh.
Wait a minute, you don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it?
That's right. That Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss.
No. Lord Van Zeeks?
Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? It's Baroque Van Zeeks the police have arrested. I saw him with my own eyes in the interview room at the yard.
I don't believe it.
But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him.
So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses?
I heard a gunshot apparently, and when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room.
There's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either.
Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all, as soon as you can. You've got to help. Help. It's a detective's lot to appear wherever some sinister plot has unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves.
Mr. Sholmes.
What use is there in being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson! Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigation.
Of course, yes, we will too.
It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you're intending to do so anyway. Until later then.
Inspector Gregson dead. And Lord Van Zeeks arrested.
Uno, Susie, I've called you a hansom. It's waiting outside.
Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Mr. Zato?
Yes.
Oh, damn!
There he is, Lord Van Zeeks behind bars. So it's true, he really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeeks! Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see. Couldn't very well not come. I heard what had happened, that Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But... Forgive me, Lord Van Zieks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth behind his death. You must help us with our investigations, please. There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? Yes. The art isn't quite so carefully with information. It's the sheer case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might that be? Someone you know, as it happens, Albert Harebrain. Of course, yes, I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And now I'd like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zieks never misses his words. They seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zieks? What happened? How much do you already know? We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small, rented room on Fresno Street. There you go. And then you were found there by the police when they arrived at the scene and immediately arrested. We were told that there was nobody else in the room, and that some witnesses heard the gunshot. You're well informed, and there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. At least you didn't pick up the gun without gloves on, like a certain other cravat-wearing prosecutor.
Oh dear.
So he doesn't actually know what happened. I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh. After all, you're not representing me. He is going to need a lawyer, though. Who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zieks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine.
The irony is there will be us!
Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as of yet? Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked how? Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer wants to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with these people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? After the trial, Professor Harebrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. To relief, I must say, he should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? Yes, so it seems. Your stupid little Nipponese friend, for example, told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Did Gregson die because the Reaper was targeting Gina?
Maybe?
Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Harebrain is safely back in Germany now. He is. What if we get a letter that's informing us of Soseki's death? This case.
That'd be spooky.
Would be.
Actually, because Soseki is like an actual historical person who didn't, like, die yet.
Maybe he did. Maybe maybe he mysteriously assassinated and it was never solved. That's going to be unsolved mysteries. And that's not. That's not what happened.
No.
So it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence. That's all. Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Zieks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people, so I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly. It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese. But please... I have no intention of engaging your services. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Neither of us will waste any more time.
Okay.
Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson.
Poor Gregson.
It really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. It still doesn't seem real. We haven't seen it. We didn't see him in all this case.
Yeah.
So this dust-ridden rented old room is where it happened, then. There's a red wig! Oh my god, it was the Red Hair Society!
Oh my.
It's called the Red-Headed League. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere.
Oi! What do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath them all. And all. I want the space above the ceiling checked. And don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey! Ain't you lot never gone over an house looking for dough when the owners are out of town?
Gina's obviously got some unique investigative things she wants everyone to adopt.
Oh, so you've turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself.
Hello again, Gina.
Sholmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around in here, pointing at stuff and flicking that out of his, and then just scarpered.
Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean?
Yeah, he didn't stop to say nothing to no one. Not even me.
Gina, would you mind if we investigated too?
Listen, Odo. You're a lawyer, right?
Yes? Why?
Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you?
Oh! Poor Gina. She's never going to forget, is she? A trial will haunt her forever. Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court.
I suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, Odo. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here.
Thank you, Gina. Who's that? Oh,
You
it's
don't
a
know who
photograph
that is?
stand. I suppose it must want to be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. They are! Look, Mr. Naruhodo, quickly!
Oh,
Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow? Of course she's familiar! We met her only this morning! It's Mrs. Vigil! This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Vigil in here?
this really does make no sense.
To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either. framed photograph has been entered in the court record. But what if we open the paragraph photograph? Oh, we can't examine it like actually as a physical object.
Do you think there's going to be something hidden inside the frame?
Yeah, I mean there might be.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
This looks like some sort of notice board or something. It's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, look. This, you mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it? These are case notes here and details of prison inmates. Yes, in fact, they're all the sort of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room?
Right, so I'm thinking, at this point, right, the person who owns this room, the usual occupant, must be this woman's husband. This must be where he goes when she thinks he's at work.
No, I think the presence of this board, being here.
Yeah. Go on.
I think that Gregson's been investigating the professor case on his own.
Then why would Gregson have a picture of that fella's wife?
I don't know.
I think that fella's been investigating the professor case.
I think
freaked out.
I think maybe they've been colluding. Maybe they've been investigating together.
I definitely think they were colluding, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think this is Gregson's room. Gregson may well be involved, but I think this is room is that bloke.
Yeah, I had it in my mind that Daily Visual was the murderer, if that was the case, but no.
I mean, he could still be the murderer.
He could still be the murderer, but yeah, if they were colluding, then Gregson was the one providing those documents to him.
Yeah. No, I suppose we should find more evidence before we draw a conclusion.
Oh yes, the advertisement you mean, to the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing there? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason. Hello? Excuse me.
Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir. Oh, he's sad. Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir.
Oh man, he can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Hey, I hope Gina starts eating fish and chips. That'd be cute.
Great.
Excuse me.
If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard.
I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. Hello.
That boy policeman.
What?
Look, below the text box.
It's a toy policeman, yeah.
Nice.
Excuse me, is your name Kagami?
Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir.
Right, perhaps I'd better leave you to your work then. I think his name might be Kagami.
Huh.
It's a joke no one will understand because you're pretty much the only one listening, isn't it? Who's in my viewers list? Tyler's still here. Tyler, do you get it? I doubt you do.
I don't get it. What's the joke?
You'll understand when you're older.
I'm older than you.
Mm-hmm.
Kagami.
Oh, what's this? It's not even a good joke. Don't look it up.
You mean Kagami Tsurugi from Miraculous Ladybug?
Definitely. What?
Voiced by Faye Marter in English. Oh no, I typed in the word Kagami and that was the first result. What do you want me to know?
I don't know. It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it, in a way? Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zeek's playing something like this. It's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. Maybe we should record it as evidence, just in case. Yes, I agree.
Oh.
It is rather delightful, after all, in a way.
Do you mean Araya Kagami, a police officer in AI the Somnian Files?
That's his first name?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Araya.
Yeah.
Is that who you were referring to?
Yeah.
I don't get it. That's not a joke.
It's
That's
not
just
a
the
joke
name of a
either.
person.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it's not a good
That
joke.
was terrible. You should just have not said that.
I shouldn't have.
Really derailed the stream.
Yeah. Alright.
Wow.
The stream's over, guys. Let's restart this. Let's restart. I'm just gonna go back. We're gonna start over from the beginning. We're gonna pretend that never happened, okay?
Anyway, what did I miss? Because I wasn't paying any attention to Ace Attorney. What did
I don't
we
know.
just do?
We got the policeman figure. We were wondering who dropped it.
Oh, okay.
And the reason it was reminded of Kagami is because he was just kneeling down.
Oh my god.
Generic policeman.
Right, shall we do some ace attack?
No,
Yeah.
because now I'm embarrassed because I'm stupid and make terrible jokes that aren't even jokes.
Okay.
The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if someone has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun!
Oh.
Unscrew it! Shall we try twisting it around and around too, for fun? Oh my god,
Oh.
what is that? Ah, what's that? It appears to be some sort of key. But it's tiny though, it couldn't be a key for a door, not at that size. So what is it for, I wonder?
Huh.
Huh.
Okay.
Oh no. He's got a way longer than the third leg.
Is there anything in here that takes a key?
Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is! A bright red hairpiece! I suppose the fact that it's right here next to where the body was found. If you have to accept that, Inspector Gregson wore wigs, doesn't it? And it's such a flame-colored red, too. This is a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly! This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it. This is presumably the murder weapon, then. Oh my. It is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot. No! I did that. I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Really safer to just ask someone who might know, I think. Probably best to
avoid handling it.
You know what comes next? Pull the trigger! I suppose this must have been the murder weapon. Oh my. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
Bold decision to make that be the exact same conversation, but sure.
Oh god, Gregson disintegrated! So I suppose this is where the victim... That's right, the rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found.
It's
Inspector
just that
Gregson.
kind of look like a face. Like, that's a big nose.
It's
pointy
Luigi! It's Luigi with a pompadour.
Yeah.
Or Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away. And would probably be under Dr. Scythe's scalpel by now if not for what happened last week. From the shape of the rope, it would appear the Inspector was curled up in a ball. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost. I know it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that bloodstain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality. Suzato-san is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. The top of one of these candles in the candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's wax spattered on the wall behind. Look. I suppose if a bullet had hit it, it does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body. Ugh, now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. I don't see any wax on the wall. Do you?
No.
Candelabrum? Ah, there are some black marks here, look! Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. Perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? Almost one candle has been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, but I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Okay, so, scorch marks, right? We know what that means. The bullet was shot... The bullet hit the, they shot at the candle from very close range. It had to have been the first thing it hit, right?
Potentially, yeah.
Empty fireplace makes the room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's thick with dust, look. I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. Or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right, it's one or the other. Can we talk with Gina? Yeah, of course we can. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place?
That's what I want to know. It's what, half a year since I got out of the clink? That's when I decided to give up my diving and become a detective instead.
Oh, yes, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he?
Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss until then. But it turns out he's a bit of a legend at the yard.
Goodness, really?
They say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that.
How much you want to bet Gregson was the lead detective on the Professor case?
I wouldn't take that bet, because that's almost certainly the case.
He did?
Yep, and ever since then he started going out on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently. That's just bad record keeping.
That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? What was that legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this?
Oh, so maybe this guy was his crime-solving partner, just in general.
Maybe.
I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all, and look where that landed him.
Respect for the Reaper? In what way?
I heard him say as much. I'll take my hat off to that fella.
Hello,
Where
Sim.
he's
Thank you for
worked.
the raid.
No, thank you for the raid.
How have you been? What have you been doing? What have you been up to? Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper.
Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke.
I should really set up a shout-out thing.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I can link the chat. I can do a shout out if you want.
Probably. I should start doing that.
Okay.
Apparently, she was playing Genshin Impact. Gina gets a new outfit. Spoilers, laws. Oh yeah! No, look away! This is really, really heavy spoilers! You gotta stop watching right now! You gotta stop watching it immediately! This is really, really heavy spoilers. Yeah, see ya. See you later,
Yeah,
Sim.
bye bye.
Oh god. Let's give it a second, just before we advance.
Also, does Gina have a new outfit? I don't remember her outfit being different.
I don't remember either. Is it different? I think it's... No, it's not different, is it? Gina's not different.
I don't think so. Let's have a look. It is different.
Oh, it's just the same color.
She's got a coat that she didn't have before.
Oh. Yeah, the coat's new, and yeah, okay. I get it now. I see.
Yeah. Oh.
I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in such high regard. Oops.
He said something else to me and all. I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people what are bad. But you did have to worry about the Reaper, that's why he was trying to move you to France. It did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Right. What is this place then? Does anyone live here?
Apparently it's being rented by some cove called Hugh Boone.
Huge Bone! Huge
Boone.
Bone?
Okay.
It's sort of here today, gone tomorrow name, that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him.
I know who Hugh Boone is.
Yeah. It's very clearly the Scottish jailer.
Definitely. I see. Well, judging from appearances, I have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever.
Right? All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation.
Oh man, that would have sucked if Sam raided while we were talking about Gregson.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves.
I do wonder. Yes, Mr. Zato? Well, could it be that this huge Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself? What? How could that be?
Ooh.
Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible. This was in fact some kind of secret office of his. I'd never even considered that.
Nice work, Suze. We're actually following the line of inquiry like that ourselves.
You are.
Yar. If
Or
look
you
around
are,
this-
not you.
No, yar.
Yar?
Yeah, yar is short for you are.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yar.
Yar. If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it.
We should really investigate this place in detail.
We kind of were.
Yeah, but I think the game expected us to talk to her first.
I see.
I see that's where the poor inspector was found, over there.
Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet what did him in.
Maybe he's the Cosma situation.
Maybe. Probably not. He's probably just dead.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gregson.
Sad. Not Gregsy.
Murdered Scotland Yard Inspector. That's not what he was known for.
He was!
No!
Relegated from the present to the past tense. Apparently the bullet went right through him and struck that candle tree on the wall.
Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely.
And the gun used is there on the floor. It's a Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that.
What? Really? How do you know that?
Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself. There's some bigwig lawman or whatever who said so. Why don't you ask him?
Bigwig Lawman, is it?
Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There were some street sellers just outside who heard the gunshot.
Oh, I think I know who those street sellers were.
Who?
Those two dudes who were at Sholmes in the morning.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Yeah, this is just a parallel to, I feel like this is just all paralleling, you know, the final case of the first game, Unspeakable Story, where those two are going to be, you know, the new Skulkins, and they're going to be the witnesses to the gunshot.
Maybe. We shall see, won't we?
Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside.
Yeah, they've all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They'll be getting a grilling.
Do you think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves?
I doubt it. The lads at the yard will just want to know what you're snooping for, and you'll be up for grilling and all.
So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Hey, Gina, did you know I'm an attorney? This armband is proof, in Japan at least, that I'm a defense lawyer.
And this badge is proof that I'm a detective. So you're all gonna have to start calling me Inspector Lestrade.
In that case, you'll have to start calling me, well, anything but Otto.
I could call you Defender Narra Otto if you'd like, but it don't really trip off the tongue.
No, it doesn't have a great ring to it, does it? Maybe call him, like, Ace Attorney or something.
Oh,
Maybe even the Great Ace Attorney. I feel like I made the exact joke when that dialogue happened last case.
I think so, yeah. I guess more inspecting?
Gina, what do you make of this? Well, is that evidence? Or does something ever happen? No, not exactly.
Blah, blah, blah.
I haven't wrote before. I'm gonna get to person what did this to the boss.
Okay. Maybe the police figure, because we found out it has a key in it.
Oh, right. Nope.
Maybe it's none of them. Maybe we need to look harder.
I mean, might as well try everything.
I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm just throwing out ideas.
This definitely won't be relevant to her.
Can we inspect the drawers? Are they maybe locked?
No.
No. Okay. What about them things above the fireplace? What are they? Okay, can't inspect them. Door. Can we inspect the door? Maybe that's locked. No. Can we inspect the radiator?
No. Oh,
A window?
Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards of the broken glass, haven't they? Couldn't even really call it a window anymore. Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least still let in some light, so... You could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now.
Jeez, alright, calm down, Naruhodo. No need to be rude to Suzy.
Naruhodo?
Yeah, Naruhodo.
What did I say?
Hmm. Oh, yeah, maybe we have to go here because you mentioned the lawyer bloke. You've made good time. I took an express train back to London!
I think that might be Kazuma.
Maybe.
I can hear Lord Strongheart, can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Yeah, it's Kazuma.
Yeah. Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork.
It's... Kazuma-sama. Now he has two swords! What the hell?
Ah, your timing is impeccable.
It is?
No doubt you've heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry.
Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, my Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zieks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson?
I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable excusal of Lord Van Zieks for this crime. You must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective.
Oh no, surely not.
It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes.
So does that mean the trial is tomorrow?
Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions.
Kazuma.
But of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings. leading the prosecution.
Wait, what? Kazuma?
As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very practitioner of law, capable practitioner of law.
Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor? You can't just remain silent this whole time, buddy!
Yeah, I need more opportunities to practice your voice. Okay. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now.
Has your memory completely returned?
Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do.
Right. Kazuma-sama,
I like this music.
I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly. I don't know why I said beating. Hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London.
You're saying it London.
I don't know.
I'm so sorry for what's happened.
Anyway, my memory might have returned to me. But there's something that won't return to the way it was before.
Huh? What do you mean?
I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds.
There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey, and now, Reaper himself must stand in the dock.
Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths.
But Lord Van Zeeks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent.
That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now.
Ah,
No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history.
so Cosmo will be prosecuting tomorrow?
That's right.
But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart.
Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. That's true in England, it's true. You prosecute and defend here, depending on what comes up on your, in your chambers.
Oh,
And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree?
absolutely. No doubt at all that Cosmo will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain.
It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial.
You asked for this? But why?
It will all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation.
I'm surprised such a personal quest would have been upheld. So he does get to pick and choose! It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact.
Unless you're Van Zeeks, who gets to pick and choose as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me. You're quite right, Miss Mikoto. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks.
So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution.
Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months.
Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me right now. This isn't going to end well, my friend.
I guess that the fact that he's prosecuting now is a good excuse as to why we don't have to give him his armband back.
Oh, yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. You know if it belonged to Lord Van Zieks?
That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene.
Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask someone higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo, be direct. It's certainly Oh, it's you.
Yeah, isn't he? It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Okay, right. Sadly, or maybe not sadly, depending on your point of view, when you become a lawyer, you don't just get to have a gun. That's not how it works. I don't think that would have been... I don't know. We've always been quite about firearms. A lot less in this time period, but still, I don't know if the state would just go around giving prosecutors guns. I'm sure they'd be allowed guns if they wanted, but, like, I don't know. Anyway, which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine.
In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim.
No, Gregson has his gun on his person.
What about Lord Van Zieks?
He claims it's currently not... Oh, okay. The gun is going to be the prison warden guy's gun, isn't it?
Maybe. What?
It's not going to be Van Zieks' gun.
It might be.
No, it won't be, because Van Zieks doesn't... He's not a gun guy. He'll be like, oh, I didn't carry that useless shit with me. I defend myself with a sword. Remember, last time he was attacked, he defended himself with a sword?
Maybe.
Anyway, according to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little DOS picture.
But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof it's actually his.
Damn, if only guns had, like, serial numbers and things you could register them by. No, of course not.
Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zieks. Doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart.
Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery.
Alright, I've taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Before you go, Ryunosuke,
Oh, what is it, Kazuma?
I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma-sama, what?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you.
Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh,
I actually have a favor to ask.
which is?
This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel.
Why? What's this all about?
I know you have what it takes.
But Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands.
On the contrary, he recognizes your talent.
Does?
It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this.
That's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson. I can't. Van Zieks looks so strange smiling.
Yeah.
And a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the looks of it. Who's the third person? That's quite clearly Clint Van Zieks.
Yeah. It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office.
In Gregson's office, you mean?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it.
I don't understand. Why are you giving me this?
Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over.
What are you doing, Kazuma? Oh, Van Seeks is still reading that letter. God damn, how much did Hairbrain write?
Hairbrain was a bit of a scatterbrain. Probably
He's
did
been
write
gone
a
quite
lot.
some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can. What the fuck was that?
What the fuck did you say about me, you little bitch?
I'll have you know. I graduated at the top of my class. I was intending to ignore you entirely. And I can't
have
turn a
you
deaf
never-
ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry, I didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer yet? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This is nothing to do with you. In other words, no. I was just talking to Lord Strongheart and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Sogi. Sogi? I made the color drain from his face.
What colour? His face has no colour.
Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. Hooray! I like talking with you!
Hey.
10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. Killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father. So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? Man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court. I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could he have been hoping to achieve? Let's not forget that it was only 8 years ago that Kazuma recovered from...
Days ago.
8 days ago. I said years, yeah.
Yeah.
That Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Sogi. The name is the very epitome of my bane. Bane that is you Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all that's Japanese. I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. Brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor, assigned to the investigation as his partner, a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi? Exactly.
Damn.
I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong.
Oh, this is new music, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, how awful. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted Nasogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the prescribed prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the Professor K's inquiry, Lord Mael Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was a highly accomplished prosecutor. He agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted. I'm sure you must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London? But you.
Ah,
And of all things, as a lawyer.
I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese.
I kept telling myself that it was illogical. For so many years, that hatred had festered inside me. I could no longer control it.
I can understand why now that I know the history. You can never excuse racism. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel
I mean,
sorry.
to be fair, he's not excusing it. He's saying he can understand it. Let's
fair.
be clear, there's a big difference between excusing something and understanding.
That's true.
I would argue understanding racism is kind of vital in combating it.
That's true, actually.
In the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Sogi, I am the bane of his, the Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he tends to take it in court tomorrow.
Maybe his father shouldn't have murdered people.
There's so many parallels to Edgeworth and Von Karma here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Gregson's transfer from the Paris Police Prefecture, or to the Paris Police Prefecture, had finally been arranged for the upcoming month. He'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy.
Oh, yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean.
It's the first time I've ever encountered it.
Oh,
The Paris police were welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place.
sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We heard that he was considered something of a legend in Scotland Yard. Yay, his theme! I miss him already.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get to see more of him as a call.
Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself by covering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity.
Yeah, there we go.
If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, discovery would never have been made.
What sort of approach?
After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
Oh my, 10 years ago? Why is
They're
that so
not
surprising?
Do autopsies before.
Autopsy was considered
I
a
guess
desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. And my brother was, of course, a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. Something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death.
So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. It's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
I don't have confidence in anyone.
Oh,
Sure, Gregson felt the same way. I have no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London.
Oh, this is where we show the photograph to
what really went on
that-
between Lord Van Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? I
If
think
only we
this was the
saw
true nature of his
photo.
relationship.
Take that!
Lord Van Zieks, we came by this old photograph.
Where did you get that?
His eyes haven't changed at all, even though he's smiling. I feel like Gregson just sort of like took his frown and moved it upside down.
It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost.
Is the man on the left there?
Yes, that's my brother, Clint.
Feels like Gregson photograph is great in the court record. It had to be, really.
You don't get to say that. You didn't know. You don't pretend like you knew. You don't
Apparently,
show
this
them
picture was
this.
prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know? Were you aware of that?
Respect? That's nonsense.
No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less.
Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially
discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes. Brief twinkle. Insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Steve Austin of the Bailey. About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Ah, yes, that's not mine.
Convenient.
Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it, then? That, I don't know. Oh! I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose, or left it somewhere, perhaps. You have something in common with Lord Van Zieks after all, Mr. Hodo. Talent for misplacing things. No, this has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decisive evidence, clearly, but doesn't look good, that's for sure. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh. It's the first time he's ever used my actual name. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. And there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? Not what you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. Simple determination to know the truth. Lord Van Zieks. The very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now. I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese who has absolute integrity as a lawyer.
Yeah.
There are only two other men who I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genshin Asogi.
Oh.
Maybe it's just Asians. Asians and Clint. Maybe you're Asian! What if you're half Asian?
Maybe! Maybe he's just mistaking Asian facial features for a look of justice. Oh dear.
The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? What other photograph would he be talking about? Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. At times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry.
Damn, dude, like, see a therapist. Jeez.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me?
Yo.
Of course I will. It would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. And my life is in your hands. For Lord Van Zieks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. That's why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend Kazuma.
To
be continued!
Oh, it's gonna be continued!
Ah, boy!
Woo! Oh, may continue!
So what are we thinking so far? We sort of abandoned the missing persons case real quick.
Well, yeah, something more important happened.
Yeah, but we didn't even, like, talk to Miss Vigil about, like, the fact that her husband hasn't been working where she thought he's been working.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, obviously the missing persons case is going to be, like, deeply tied to Gregson's murder, but still.
Yeah, but we're too dumb to have worked that out yet. Lay off.
I mean, it's less too dumb to have worked that out, and more, like, coincidences like that don't happen normally outside of like narratives like this usually.
Yeah, but they happen all the time to us in Ace Attorney.
Yeah, that's true.
So we are dumb. Oh boy.
So what happens now?
I don't know. If we start the trial, that'll take a while. Maybe we should just end it.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
I will be going live again later though.
Oh, you will?
Yeah, for Ocarina of Time Randomized Multi-World.
Sorry, say that again?
For the Ocarina of Time Randomizer?
Oh, the Ocarina of Time randomizer you've been doing. Oh, yeah. Well, if you're going live anyway, then yeah, maybe just call it here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so sad that I knew Gregson dying before the game, before I played this.
Huh. That is sad. I didn't know, though, so
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
I was excited. That's why I was really excited to just for that. I wasn't sure how it would be revealed to us. I thought for sure we'd like witness his death or something. We'd find his body, but no. Gina just told us, and I think that made it even more surprising.
Yeah, I was shocked. I tell you, shocked.
So you excited to see Prosecutor Asogi next time?
I am. Yeah. I am.
You know what I'm excited for?
What? Music?
You've
That
become
song you really
conceited
like
with
from
age,
this one?
Council.
Yeah.
The old have to stand aside and...
Ooh. That. I don't have the DLC anymore. Oh man!
Oh.
Never mind.
Wait, what did the DLC do?
It showed the unused and early versions of songs.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sucks. Oh well.
Oh well.
Let me just go on YouTube.
Yeah. Alright, well I'll see you guys later today for Ocarina of Time Randomized.
I won't. Bye, everyone.
Aw, you're not gonna come?
What? What, on stream?
Well, you're probably gonna go to sleep, huh?
Probably.
Mm.
Like, I just meant I wouldn't be on. Plus, it'd be weird if I was just like on a stream while you're on a stream with someone.
Probably.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna raid. Bye-bye, everybody. See ya. See you later. I'm so excited to continue this case next week.
So am I. It's an exciting case.